Hello guys, my name is Dr. Varun and we are back with another videos on this chlorophyll classes for NEET 2025. Sorry, NEET 2026. Whether you will be doing for the NEET 2026 or the board exam, this class is specifically targeting the 12th class students and we're going to be starting with the genetics. Of course, the whole of your 12th class biology is a little bit linked with each other. Okay, so we're going to be learning in that matter only. Why I am not going with the unit 6, that is about the reproduction in organism, because in most of the school and coaching institute it would have been completed by now. So we will come back during the time of revision once our all syllabus is done. So we want that we have an edge over the other. That's why you are coming and seeing this video probably. So we will be tackling with the genetics, and throughout your summer vacations we will try that we complete most of the part of the genetics. Okay, let's just move on with the today's chapter, that is principle of inheritance and variations. Let's just come back. Okay, a basic question in our mind, and we keep on evolving the questions which are coming with it. What is the question? That why me and my siblings look similar? Or maybe the question is why me and my siblings do not look very similar to each other. You might have seen that sometimes that maybe your uncles or certain siblings, nephews, or some example might be there where the two of the brother or sister looks very much similar, although they are not the identical twins. What is identical twins? If you have gone through the sexual reproduction in human being chapter, you know that what is identical twins. So they look very similar, although their age gap is huge. Why that phenomena is there? So those question answers will come from this chapter. Okay, so let's just try to do with it. Now in this chapters, when we are learning about the principles of inheritance, let's just understand the first statement, that what is this inheritance? Inheritance means intake. Inheritance means what? Intake from previous generation, if we are learning in the basic meaning. Okay, so means, for example, whatever I have inherited from my parents, like we all will inherited what? We will inherited certain of the properties. Okay, means properties means like the house, the land, agricultural resources, whatnot. Okay, so this is what inheritance that we are getting from our old ancestral properties or from the grandfather, great great grandfather. Okay, variations means that how we are inheriting a lot of things, but still the variations are coming up. Variation means what? Differences or changes that are coming with it. So this is the thing, that why I look similar to my mom and dad, but yet a different ones to both of them in certain features and aspect. So why there is that variation coming up? This questions, if we are coming up in our mind, then we are going with it. So for the first work for this thing, for the genetics, was done by what? Done by George John Mendel. You might have studied about that in 10th class. Let's us just dive deep into the understanding of those and the question practice once we are completing this topic. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna be do is the Mendel genetics. Okay, starting with the Mendel genetics. In Mendel genetics, who, like basic, we have to remember that he is considered as the father of genetics. Okay, so because he has done all this first most work, so father of genetics, this title is given to whom? This title is given to George John Mendel. Okay, next is that on what organism it did its experiment. So he did it on a plant. The plant is the pea plant, which scientific name is what? Pisum stivum. Okay, so worked on, we have to remember these facts. So he worked on pea plant, whose scientific name we have to remember what? Pisum stivum. Okay, so I have named it, like it has a genus, it has a species. Okay, moving on. Then when did he did the work and how long his research work was? His research work was for a period of 7 years. Okay, so research work expanded for 7 years. Okay, so 1850 something to 1863, this is what the time frame. I'm not sure about it, but it is something like that, so just remember it like that. In an 18 something he did it. Okay, moving on, that why he choose, the first question would be why he choose the pisum plant, or what he was actually is. So it is a story. Okay, the story is very interesting. Let's just try to understand. So this Mendel was a researcher but is not able to complete his research. So he became monk. Okay, remember the storyline like this. Okay, as he become monk, but he still want to do the research. So he said what over there when he was monk, he has to make the pea, because pea will do what? Pea will help in feeding, in making the food. So he said that okay, I will work on the pea only. Okay, G, let's do the work on the pea only. So when he's doing the work on pea, he see that certain pea plant is different, certain pea plant is different. Pea plant, certain characters and certain characters are very contrasting to each other. Means that when he's seeing the pea plant and seeing any character, the characters are wide apart, means opposite. So you all have studied opposite words. So opposite word like tall opposite is short. So one such feature he observed, what one contrasting feature, that one pea plant is tall, other pea plant is small. Okay, very good. If something is tall, something is short, he's seeing this. Then he said that he was like, okay, let's just put our brain. And he put it in his brain and he said that what if I make a tall and a short one to what? To fertilize, to cross fertilization. Okay, then he did it and he sees some differences. Okay, that we will learn it in the story later on. Coming back to the basic thing, that he did this thing. Now the question is why he did it with the pea plant only. The first reason is that pea plant is easily cultivable, means you don't require lot of efforts to cultivate it. He's monk, na, monk has to go to every doorsteps to take the offerings from the people. Okay, or maybe they had to do the other works, worshipping kind of work, right? So he has less time, so he can do it with the pea plant. He keep on doing the research also. Okay, so he is not yet above from the all of this life threats of what we say, that want to do something at all, but he was still being a monk also, he is doing all of those things. Okay, so I always used to say that. Moving on, the next thing was that easily cultivable pea plant. Second thing is that pea plant has shorter lifespan, means it can be grown easily and it can see the thing and it will die, and it will produce the seeds and the next offsprings also. Means shorter lifespan, we can look for the longer period of a time, that how the inheritance are going on, how the genes are being going on. Although he don't know about these things, he called it something else, we will learn it later. Okay, this thing is there. Next very important thing is that controlled breeding can be done on it. When I'm saying controlled breeding means what? For example, if you have a one animal and another animal, like for example, if you have a one variety of cow and this is another variety of cow. Okay, maybe this cow, like for example, the female cow give high yield of milk, whereas the bull has high endurance, means that the bull can be very stronger and it can lift a lot of things. So this bull, if this bull and this cow we mate it, then higher chances the offspring that will form will have a better adaptability, because they have very good features. Okay, so this good features things has been utilized over here, because we have controlledly breeding. We made that this cow and this bull only will breed. It won't be like this cow will go and breed with something else. In short, we humans, or this person, this monk did what? It take away the basic feeling of a person that we can choose our own partner. Means no love marriage, only what we want that you will do. That kind of orthodox treatment was being here. So this is what control breeding thing that is occurring over here. How it is done? Because pea plant is bud pollinated. Bud pollinated means what? That the flower, anther and stigma, it get mature up, their gametes formed and they get mingled up when they are in the bud form, means they never blossom up. Prior to that only there is what? Fertilization has occurred between them, means self fertilization. So what we can do over here, remember artificial hybridization, that feature can be done. Of course, don't worry, I am telling you over here what is with the artificial hybridization so that you can understand this thing better. Okay, so let's just see that why the pea plant. Rest all the story and all you can read it anywhere. We are writing with the major things. Okay, so the next thing is why Mendel choose pea plant for experiment. So the answer to this question is, first is what? That pea plant is easily cuttable. Is easily cultivable. Next thing is pea plant has shorter lifespan, so we can see the result faster. Okay, pea plant has short lifespan and we can observe multiple generation faster. Okay, next the third one is that control breeding environment. Control breeding environment because of bud pollination. So if someone will ask you that how we are doing it, we are doing what? Artificial hybridization. So what happened in the artificial hybridization? Since we haven't covered this topic yet, so I am telling you over here only. And when we will be doing the sexual reproduction in flowering plants, over there I would assume that you would be able to recall this thing. So in artificial hybridization, what happened? We want particular plant and the other plant features to combine. So what we will do, that we will take the stigma of one plant and the anther of another plant, and we will take the pollen of this goes to this. Whatever the features we want to do it, we can do it. Okay, so what will happen? This plant will also have anther now. Imagine this flower is there, it has stigma and anther both, but I want only the stigma part of it. So what I will do, I will cut the male part. So the cutting of the male part, for example, these are all what? Male parts. So cutting of this male parts with this is called as emasculation. Okay, so masculation, what is what? Masculinity means what? Man. E means remove. Okay, so we are doing what? Emasculization. So male part is removed. Okay, only the stigma left. Now what we will do? Now this stigma might be that pollen can come from anywhere. Maybe the pollen from this plant do not come. The pollen from another flower of this same plant, means what? Genetogamy, if you remember, can also occur. We don't want that. So we do what? We cover it up. So when we will cover it up with a poly bag or any polythene bag, whatever it is. Okay, so this is more known as what? Bagging. Okay, we also tag it that when we have emasculated it, what it is time and all those things. Sometimes the female is not mature enough earlier, so we want it that to protect it. So we write all those things. So we have done the bagging of it, and then when the mature anther from the another plant, whatever we want is there, we take those pollen dust and we dust it on it, and then it will grow. So this is what? Artificial hybridization. So what we have learned about artificial hybridization? We said that we took two different plant or two different plant flower. If this is the one flower, so this is what? Flower A, and we have another flower. This is our flower B. So what we have done? We have, this is the female part of the flower. So we have took the gynoecium part. So gynoecium part is here and androecium part will be here. Androecium here selected. Okay, so we are doing what? Selected. So parents will be selected first. Now this plant might have what? This plant might have the anther present. So anther will be cut off. This process is known as what? Emasculation. So emasculation will be done on the female plant so that the male can't come from here. Okay, because the male will be selected only from what? From this plant. Okay, so pollen from the selected plant. Pollen from the selected plant will be dusted. Okay, so what will happen? Then this will be dusted on what? Onto this gynoecium. And what will happen? Finally, there will be what? Fertilization. Fertilization. The required one. So this thing has been done by the Mendel. Okay, so very important for you to understand this thing. Moving on to the next thing, that okay, Mendel did that, but what Mendel did? He took certain characteristics. What characteristics? Contrasting characteristic. So he basically identified 7 such characteristics. Of course, all the crosses he never went through. Okay, but most of them he went through. Okay, so he did what? He did some crosses. He see that how one gene is being inherited. Now he don't know the concept of gene. So he knows certain other things. So here we will learn certain terminologies. Okay, so the next topic that we're gonna be doing is what? Certain terminologies before actually going into the experiment of the Mendel. Okay, so the next topic for us is terminologies. Terminology. Okay, so what is the terminology? Number 1 is that he talked about certain factors. So what are factors? Factors is another way of calling it to the characters. So whatever be the characters given by certain things, like for example, the character of tallness, okay, means that the character of height, that is what? Factors. Okay, for them. In a reality, they are what? Currently we call them what? We call them genes. Okay, so factors are what? These are the characters. These are the characters. We are writing it very basically so that you can understand it. Okay, so these are the characteristics, okay, of the organism. In today's terms, what do we call it? It is equivalent to the genes. Okay, so for Mendel, it is factor. For currently, we understand the chromosomes, it is what? Genes. Okay, then after factors, we have what? We have alleles. Okay, so in terms of alleles, what are alleles? Alleles are the contrasting characters, okay, of the factor. Okay, so they are what? Contrasting characters of the factor. In our today's terms, genes are what? Alternative form of genes. Okay, so here you have to remember that if we have to see it from the chromosomes point of view, so if this is your chromosome, now you know that there are what? We are talking with respect to what? Diploid organism. Okay, tell me one thing, that whether you know about diploid and haploid concept. Anything about it, you are crystal clear? If not, that I will come up with a video for it, comment it down. Okay, so I will make a different video for it. Here I will let you try to understand the things. Now we are diploid organisms, means we have a pair of a chromosome. When I'm saying the pair of chromosomes means what? Half of the similar chromosome coming from the mother, half is coming from the father. So they combine together chromosomes. Okay, of course they are not combining together, that's a very wrong term to be honest, but we will say that, we will imagine it like that. Okay, the chromosomes comes and then they will show only one effect. Okay, either the father type or the mother type. Okay, normally we say it, we will, when we are learning it, we will learn many things. Okay, for now just remember that chromosomes show what? Either one character, either male character or the father character or the mother character in a child. Like for example, my eye color is brown. Okay, let's say that my mother eye color is blue and my father eye color is brown. So the brown color of eyes are coming means what? That when the chromosomes from the father side, half chromosome coming, mother side, blue chromosome coming. What happened? I should have what? One eye color to be brown and other blue, or half of the eye color. But that never happened, beta, right? My eye color is brown, means only one character is shown. So means what? That is a contrasting character of the eye. So means the genes are what? The factor of eye color. Okay, so means I said that this, if this is the chromosome, here is what? The eye color factor present. Okay, or eye color gene present. Now this gene was what? My one side father side has brown color gene character, whereas this has what? A blue color character. So this thing is what? These are the alleles. Okay, so if this is the chromosome, if I'm making, so imagine that if there is a one factor present here and another one factor is present here, so their factors will be present in what? They will be present in the pair form. So this is your genes. Okay, for one character, but they can be of similar or they can be of contrasting. Okay, so individually they will be called as what? This, they are called as allele. This is also what? Allele. I hope this is understood. Means genes is a bigger thing, allele is a type of it. Okay, means my eye color is a gene or a factor, character. Okay, it's representing a character, but further it could be of two different types. Okay, either it could be darker color, lighter color, or anything. So that darker, lighter, or anything is what, beta? It is your alleles. Two different alleles present in the, for the eye color in my body. Let's take it as an example. Okay, so this is alleles. Now I said what? I said that my color appears to be brown. Okay, although my mother has a blue color, my dad has a brown color, my eye appears one single color. So this physical appearance of any factor, okay, by any one allele, okay, that is known as what, beta? It is known as phenotype. Okay, so the next thing that we will be learning, that is what? That is our phenotype. So what is phenotype? Phenotype is the physical appearance. Physical appearance of the character. How a gene will appear in an offspring. Okay, in a person. Okay, this is a phenotype. Next, fourth is the genotype. Genotype means what is the genetic makeup or genetically how it looks like. Okay, so that is what? Genetic look like of the character. We will learn it more, that how genetically means in my body, if my mother is a blue eye and my father is a brown eye, then my body might have both the genes, both the alleles present. So genetically level, if I see that I have both the alleles, but phenotypically only one is expressing, that is brown eye. I hope this is understood. Okay, if not, then let me know in the comment section. In the next video, I will first take care of these doubts only. Okay, after phenotype, the next thing that we will be Okay, I think this is enough. These 4 terms, if you understand, that's more than enough. We're gonna work with it. We will see the other things after that. Okay, let's just move on to the main research work. Okay, so when the Mendel was working, so he did certain research works. Let's just do the same thing. And now we are the Mendel. Okay, so if we are the Mendel, we have to accordingly work. Okay, so Mendel's experiment. So in the Mendel's experiment, what he did, he took certain contrasting characters. So let's just first learn about the contrasting characters. Okay, in the contrasting characters, there are 2 things given, that is dominant or recessive. Okay, we will do it here only, that terminology is also. Next terminology that we should remember, what is dominant. Dominant is the character. If there is a contrasting character of the genes present, means in my body blue color allele is also present and the brown color allele is also present. So these are what 2 contrasting character present, but what is showing up means phenotypically, that is what, that is brown color. So brown become what, dominant over the blue one, and the one which is not able to show its effect, it becomes what, recessive one. So that thing also we have to remember. More thing will keep on coming for dominant and recessive terms that we will keep on learning. Okay, so dominant one is what, the character / allele which is expressed in F1 generation. What is that? We will learn. Okay, F1 generation is known as dominant one. Okay, dominant. And recessive means the character or the allele which is the character or the allele which do not expressed, okay, or which get hide up or which get masked in the presence of dominant allele. Okay, the character allele which get masked in presence of other allele in F1 generation. We will learn it. For now, just remember that in my body, the allele which shows its effect was what? The brown color eyes, means that is a dominant one. And the recessive allele would be what? It would be the one which is not able to show, that is the blue color one. Okay, so let's just come back onto the Mendel characteristic. So Mendel took 7 contrasting characters of the pea plant, and on that he did the experiments. Before going to the experiments, let's just see that what are the dominant and the recessive and how he find it out. We will learn it in the experiment itself. Okay, so there are what are the characters. So first we're gonna be writing what? The characters. So characteristic. Okay, then we have to remember which one is dominant, and the next one we have to remember which one is the recessive. Okay, now the first character, that is what? Stem length. It is even written as stem height. So the dominant character in this stem height is what? It is the tall. And the recessive character is the dwarf. Either you call it dwarf or you call it short. That is dwarf or short. Okay, moving on to the next character, that is our flower color. Flower color, the dominant character is the violet and the recessive color is the white. Remember it. You can even see the diagrams in the NCERT, so all more you will remember it. More you will write, more you will remember, just don't forget it. Then the next is flower position. Now those students who have studied the 11th class, they can understand that thing, that flower position could be what? Either the flower is present or the tip. Okay, like for example, these are the stem, they are present at that area, or they are present at the axis of the plant body. Okay, so here also the same thing is there. Here the dominant feature is what? Dominant feature is the axial position at the axis. Means if this is the main stem, so it is present close to the axis. But there are certain plants which are present at the terminal location away from the axis. Okay, so the terminal position of the pea plant flower, which could be of violet or white color, it would be what? Terminal position. So recessive character is the terminal one. Okay, moving on, the next thing is pod shape. Pod is what? Beta, if you have seen the pea plant or the pea, so pea we used to open up like this and then we get the seed from it. So what is the pea color? Pea outer that pod, we call it that pod. What it is color? Green. So green is what? Dominant, because we get it more. So what it is? The dominant color, that is the color, shape is what? Mostly if you have seen that they are flat shape, they are not constricted. So they are what? They look something like this, right? The pea look like this. So this is what? Flat, or it is called as inflated. Okay, whereas the recessive character is what? When it is constricted. So you might have seen that certain peas like this constricted, like this kind of cover, which is very tough to open it up. It don't look even good even. Okay, so that is what the shape, that shape is called as what? Constricted, because there is a constriction. These are what? Constriction beta. Okay, so this is constricted. Okay, moving up to the next thing, the color we have already discussed. That is the most common color is what? They will be green in color. So pod color. So the pod color is what? It is green, and the recessive is would be what? Yellow. Okay, remember it. Then comes to the next thing, that is seed shape. Now mostly they are what? Circular circle. Okay, so the seed shape dominant would be what? Round. And what would be the recessive trait? Recessive trait would be wrinkled, because some peas are what? Wrinkled in shape. And the last factor beta, that is what? That is seed color. So here remember it, the seed color is not the green beta. Most of the people do this wrong. Major problem is occurring over here, pod shape and the seed color. They always are confused. Wrong answer. So I'm already telling you that, remember it very carefully, that the seed color is yellow. Yellow is the dominant one. Whereas the recessive one would be what? The recessive one would look like to us what? Green. So these are the dominant characters. Now let's just go one step ahead in our understanding, so that later we don't be kind. Since our pea plant is what? Diploid, means it will have two alleles. A dominant alleles are always shown by capital. Since if it is a pure lines, what is pure lines? So pure lines are basically those things where both the alleles are same, means homozygous condition. So we learned one more terminology, which I am writing it here only, that the homozygous and the heterozygous condition. So true lines are what? True lines. True lines means that both the alleles should be similar. And I told you what? That when both the alleles are similar, so it is also called as homozygous. Homozygous. Okay, so if dominant alleles are there, we assume that they are what? When the Mendel was doing experiment, they are true. So now the dominant one or the recessive ones, they are what? They are true lines. Okay, so true lines means both the alleles will be same. So for dominant we use with the capital letter, and for recessive with the counter small caps. Okay, since both of them are, the pea plant is diploid. Diploid means having two alleles. Okay, for the one gene. So tall will have, this is the first allele, second allele, and I told you that it is homozygous, true lines. So it will be representing with capital T, capital T. So now you understand why we are writing two capital T's, because they are diploid organisms. Both the genes are same. That's why. Okay, then the drop would be what? We are writing it with a counterpart of it so that we can remember it, that we are taking it for the opposite of tall. So short and short. And the recessive, whenever they are gonna show it effects, they will only and only gonna show effect when they are in the both homozygous small or the recessive way. Okay, so for violet, often we can write it VV or we write it WW. So white would be what? It would be small v or small w. Anything. Axial, capital A, small a. Inflated I, capital, small I. Green, GG, YY. Whereas round RR and sorry, wait. This thing is small g. Okay. Small g. Wrinkled is small r. Yellow is capital R. Green is small y. So these things we are doing it. So why now you understand that why we are using two times we are writing it, because there are two alleles present, because they are diploid organisms. If they would be haploid organism, only one allele would be present. So understand and remember this thing. So let's just go to the experiment, what he did. So Mendel took two contrasting character. Okay, so the first cross, he took only one gene or one factor at a time. So the first experiment number 1. Okay, so the experiment number 1 is what? That is one gene inheritance. Okay, so this is what? It is a monohybrid cross. Okay, so one gene inheritance on monohybrid cross means one, that we are taking one gene. Let's take the factor or character, what? Stem height. Okay, so we take the Mendel. Imagine that I am a Mendel now. Okay, so Mendel is doing what? Mendel took one of the contrasting dominant character pure plant and another the recessive character pure plant. Okay, so one I am taking it as the male. Remember that artificial fertilization which I told you in the first slide, the same thing. One I considered as male plant, another considered as a female plant. In the female plant, we have to do what? We have to emasculate. So this thing is coming here. Okay, understood. So he took a male plant, female plant, he did the emasculation and the bagging and all those things. Whereas now you will say that why the bagging is there when they are doing the cross pollination and the bud pollination is taking place. Of course, they won't do that part. Okay, understood. Very good. You guys are turning very intelligent these days. Okay, with the questions also. So one tall plant, I am taking it what? The dominant one, that is capital T, capital C. So it is what? A tall dominant phenotype plant. So one parent is this. So this is what? This is the parents. Okay. Now the female would be what? The recessive one, capital T. Sorry, we can write it with a different color. Okay, so that it is easier to recognize. Okay. So small t. So this is what? It is a dwarf recessive character true breed plant. True breed we can totally say it with when the alleles are both similar. Okay, understood. Now they will make the gametes. When they are making the gametes, during the time of gametes, what happened? The diploid cell change into a haploid cells, means it becomes half. When you will do the half of capital T, it will always make a gamete with what? Capital T only. So it will make the gametes. So next is what? The gamete is capital T. Here the gamete is small t. So the gametes will be formed here. Okay. Now all of them will be capital T and small t only. Okay, respectively. Then they will do what? Then the next thing is the crossing over. Okay. So next thing is the crossing. Okay. So when we are doing this crossing, means we are taking two different plant and we are like doing their fertilization. We call it crossing. Okay. And what will happen? A capital T gene will come and a yellow gene will come, and this become what? This has become your plant. Okay. So this is what? This is the next generation that is being formed. When this next generation has been formed, what happened? We call this what? We call this F1 generation. or it is called as F1 progeny or the F1 offsprings, whatever you want to call it. Why these different words I am telling you over here? Because these different words will come in your numericals. Yes, beta, in genetics there are a lot of numericals present which we have to do definitely. Let's just move into it. This F1 generation is also the full form of F1 is filial 1 generation, the first generation that is being formed. So it is what? It is filial 1 or the first generation. Now this first generation, we see that okay, when we are making it, it has a capital T, small t, means both the things present, and both the things present means what our logic says. Our logic says that this should be in between, means certain feature of tall come, certain feature of short come, it becomes something in between. But no. The phenotype, what is phenotype? Physical appearance of this F1 hybrid progeny was what? Progeny means baby. Okay, was what? Like tall. It shows tall characteristic. And then Mendel was like blown up by this fact. He checked it, and all the time this happened with all the dominant characters and the recessive color crossing over. The F1 generation always shows only one character, and that's how he made that. He said that the character which is appearing in the F1 generation when the contrasting character plants are crossed, that character is the dominant of the two contrasting characters. Did you understand? Means, coming back, the first topic example that I was giving, that I have a brown color eyes. My dad has a brown color eyes, but my mom has a blue color eyes. But brown color is coming in me. Means what? The brown color eye color is the dominant one. Although in my body both the alleles are present, blue color also, brown color also. Understood this factor? So this phenotypically, all the plants that will be formed, so phenotypically they were tall, but genotypically they are what? They are mix, they hybrid. And when there are two different contrasting alleles present for one character, we call this condition as heterozygous. Homozygous you have studied, means that the true breeding line is what? Homozygous. Hybrids are what? These are contaminated, means that is the wrong word to be very honest, but in their body what is happening? Both the genes are present. So genotypically they are what? They are heterozygous, means they have both the alleles, like me having the brown color eye allele present, having the blue color allele present, but the one that will show its effect is called as what? It's called as the dominant character. And this becomes the first law also, which we will learn it later, but here only I am telling it. That is law of dominance or law of recessiveness, which says what? It says that the character that is expressed when a contrasting character or traits parents are crossed in the F1 generation is known as the dominant character, and the one which is masked is known as what? Recessive character. And this is the first law or the postulate given by the Mendel, that is law of dominance or law of recessiveness. I hope this is understood. We will write these laws later on. Let's just see that. Now I'm a Mendel, right? We were doing this experiment. I found these things. Now the Mendel said that let's go on. Let's make whatever the progeny which were formed inside the F1, let them inbreed. Means what? This time siblings are breeding. Ayo, what is this? Mendel is no less than some kind of a criminal, because he's making the siblings to inbreed. Okay, in case of humans it is a ayo topic, but in case of plants everything keep on going. Okay, so what happened in the next? They took the two of this F1 generation plant. Okay, so now they did what? They took the F1 generation, two plants of F1 generation. So one is what? Small t. Okay, this is the plant. Okay, I am writing now. Capital. Now this is the parents now. Okay, now the parents. So since when the same type of plants are being taken, we call that they are doing what? They are doing selfing. Similar, na? That's why. So now the selfing will occur. Now the first step is what? When we have selected the parents will make the what? Gametes. You know that the process of making gametes, sexual reproduction in flowering plants, everything is connecting from there. So let's make their gametes. Now they have two different alleles. Means half of their alleles will have capital, half of them will have what? Shorter one. So the alleles will look like what? Sorry, the gametes will look like what? There will be a capital one gamete. So these are the gametes of this F1 generation, and the small one. So the small one is also there. These are the gametes. Now they can cross. Here, two ways we can make the next cross. One is a simple crossing, other is the Punnett square. We will learn the Punnett square also. First, we will see the normal one. Now let's just see that this one, this is from the first parent, this is from the second parent. So this first parent, this gamete has an option to go join with this and go join with this. Means they have what? They have a choice. This is called as what? They have a choice to choose their own partners. Okay, own other allelic partners, because alleles are what? They are contrasting character, but they go simultaneously, means they are partners. Okay, so the partners, they can choose it, and that makes what? When they realize that they are choosing their own partners by the end of this experiment, Mendel gave another law. The law says that law of independent assortment, as well as it gives the law of segregation of gametes. Means when this gametes are being formed, this two alleles, they are segregating independently of each other. So two more laws they have given. I will come back again and talk about it in the next day video, because today we're going to be completing this only. Okay, let's just see that what is happening over here. So over here, if we see that this has an option to go with this, okay, and if goes with this, what will happen? A capital T and a capital T, this F2 generation, because the next generation, like already the F1 generation has been formed, so this will become what? The next generation. So this is the F2 generation, or the F2 progeny, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, whatever, the same terms can be used. Next option is what? Next option is that it can form, this can go with this one, smaller one. If that happened, what will happen? A capital T and a small t offspring will form. That is what? A hybrid type of offspring that is forming. Okay, then this thing, the next thing is what? Are this one. This has an option also. What option it has? It can go either with this one, and if it goes with this one, what will happen? A capital T and a small t, means again a hybrid will form. Okay, hybrid in terms of genes. Okay, next thing is the last one, that is this thing can even go with the this one. So means what? That there is what? Chances of forming what? A recessive true line plant also there. Okay, so if we come up to the basics, okay, if we come up with the understanding, this plant, this capital T looks like what? This first parent, means a dominant character. If we see that small t, it look like this parent. Okay, and if we see this, it looks like what? This first generation parent. Okay, so here what happened? All of them are coming up. Means even if we are trying to realize that here all of them what? Hybrid. All of them what? If I'm talking about phenotypically first one, the phenotypically all were tall. But in this generation, F2 generation, there is tall, because this will represent tall. Because you know that if both hybrids are coming, they will only showing tall ones. So they will show tall one, that is 100% sure. Okay. But here what is happening? This looks similar to what? To this one. And it shows what? Dwarf one. So what will happen? Here the dwarf thing again come back. Means in my body, if there is a blue color gene, then there are chances that if someone like me, a girl is there and I'm married to that girl, then my child has chances of what? Coming up this thing. Means blue color eyes. Understood? So we're gonna be writing it. So let's just see that. It will be what? If we see the phenotypically or the phenotype, then this will be tall, this will be tall, this will be tall, but this will be what, beta? It will be dwarf. So if the I will see the phenotypic ratio means what are the different types of phenotypes present? I have 3 tall with the 1 dwarf. So my ratio is what? 3:1. Okay, can I write it that 3 are the dominant phenotypic ratio, 1 is the recessive phenotypic ratio? I can write it. One more thing we have to remember here is the genotype. So what is the genotype? The genotype is what? Here it is homozygous. So 1 capital T capital T. Then I have 2 heterozygous. This is homozygous dominant. I will write it like this. That's perfect. Homozygous. So means 2 would be what? Capital T small t. And 1 is what? 1 is the recessive homozygous. Recessive homozygous. Recessive homozygous. So 1 is small t small c. So the ratio is 1:2:1. This becomes an important information for you. Okay, so this is how we made a cross, and this is how you have to represent a cross in your board examination. This much information should be there. See this again, and I am giving you one what homework to you. Okay, what would be the homework? The homework is make a cross between true breeding violet flower with true breeding white flower of Pisum stavum plant up to F2 generation. So the same thing you have to do. Even if they have written it or not, in your board exam, you will be writing the phenotypic and the genotypic ratio properly the way I have written it up. Okay, so this you will do it. Okay, let's just give you one another example of such thing with the Punnett square this time. Okay, so let's just see that. So this time I am taking what? I am making a cross between a round seeds and the wrinkled seeds. So what will happen? The first thing I will make what? It's gametes. So gametes would be like this. Then I will do what? Crossing of this gamete. So the crossing will give what? RR. So this is what? Our progeny or the offspring. Here, what are these things? These are the parents. This is a dominant round one. Dominant round. This is recessive wrinkled. This is what? These are the gametes. And this is F1 generation. Now this F1 generation phenotype. What would be the phenotype? Capital R is coming. Means once the capital thing is coming, means it will be what? Dominant. Dominant character is what? Round. Genotypically, we know that capital R, small r is there. Next step is what? Selfing. So when we will be doing the selfing, what will happen? During the selfing time, we will be having what? We will be having these two options. These are the two parents. There will be a capital R, this small r. Capital R, small r in terms of what? Gametes. Now we will make a Punnett square way of doing it. So in Punnett square, what we will do? We will make boxes kind of a thing. Okay. Let me do it like this. Yeah, like this. So here we will be writing male and female. So this is what our male, this is our female. So what are the gametes? Capital R, small r, capital R, small r. Okay. Now we will see that, like, you might have played Sudoku. So this is what capital R, capital R. So capital R, capital R. This will become what? Small r, from here capital R, capital R, small r, small r, small r. So now if you see that, what are the types? This is what? This plant, this would be capital R, means both the capitals. These are hybrids, and this one is what? The recessive one. So there will be what? If you have to write phenotype over here, so phenotype will be what? There will be round. So this and this will be round. So 3 round, and there will be 1 wrinkled. So 1 will be the wrinkled one, like this. If we have to write what? If we have to write genotype, so the genotype, we have 3 types: homozygous dominant, heterozygous, homozygous recessive. 1:2:1. That's it. This is what you have to make it. Here also the question which I have given you for homework. If you will do this, okay, very much basic thing is done, and from there the questions levels will start. In the next class, we will move further to this into different crosses and different types of numericals handling from this topic. For this video, this is all we have to study. I hope you like this video. You would be able to understand something about this chapter. I try to tone it down as easy as possible. If you like this video, give it a like, share it with your friends or the NEET aspirant or the 11th class, your siblings, brother, sister, thambis, tangachis, anyone, okay? So that it would be helpful for their school also, as well as for their competitive exam also. If there's anything you want me to complete it or you want it to be done faster, you can comment it down. So don't forget to subscribe, give it a like, share it with your friends, comment it down your views about it. Well, that's all for this video, and you will get the notes of this topic and all the other topics on the Telegram channel or my WhatsApp channel also. The link is in the description. Well, that's all for this video. Thank you so much. Keep watching Chlorophyll Classes with Dr. Varun and taking care of the tougher topics with me for your NEET 2025 or your board exams or the academic exams. Bye.